Black Creativity 2026 is now open at the Museum of Science and Industry. The exhibit features the nation's longest running exhibition of Black art, plus interactive family experiences, STEAM career showcases, that's science, tech, engineering, art, and mathematics, youth flight school camps, and signature events throughout the season. From art and innovation to education and community celebration, Black Creativity uplifts the voices, stories, and contributions of Black artists across generations. Grab your tickets now at griffinmsi.org. Steppenwolf Theater presents The Dance of Death, Connor McPherson's twisted modern take on Austin Strindberg's masterclass in marital warfare. In its 4-star review, the Chicago Sun-Times called it Steppenwolf acting at its very best, and as deliriously entertaining as it is astonishingly profound. Featuring 3 generations of Steppenwolf ensemble members and directed by ensemble member Yasin Piankov. The Dance of Death is now playing through March 22nd. Tickets at steppenwolf.org. Today on CityCast Chicago, we're continuing to explore Chicago's contributions to Black history, and y'all know we got to talk about one of our greatest cultural exports. I'm talking about JB roller skating. Back in 2023, we wanted to know why Chicago produces the absolute smoothest skaters in the world, and I knew there was only one person who could tell me, who could do the knowledge. My mama. It's Tuesday, February 24th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. Who better to bring in than the person who taught me how to roller skate, Theresa Ferrell, a.k.a. Mama T, a.k.a. my mother. So we are sitting here with her and producer Simone Alicea on 76th Street at the Dr. Martin Luther King Roller Skating Rink and Bowling Center. Mom, welcome back to CityCast.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the topic of roller skating.
I know you do. I mean, my earliest memories are being in a roller skating rink with you, but our amazing producer, Simone Alicea here, has only gotten like a taste of roller skating culture through my various stories, but wants a little bit of a lesson and wants to get a little bit of the background.
First, I mean, let's just start with your own history. How did you get involved in skating? Like, what's your earliest memory of being in a rink?
Oh, my God. That takes me back 50 years, actually. I started skating when I was 2.5 because my parents skated. And so it was kind of a mandatory family history tradition kind of thing. And the first rink I think I remember skating at was the rink, which is now on East 87th Street. But when I was a kid, it was at 89th and Ashland. And from there, because my family was so deep-rooted into skating, we traveled all over the city skating. So there's probably, if there's one or two that I have not skated at, I'd be surprised, whereas now a lot of them are gone. So,
can you say more about sort of the Chicago's rinks and kind of the rink culture? I mean, what, especially at its height, I mean, what was sort of that like? Why were rinks sort of the place to be socially?
In the 70s, when I learned how to skate, it was very popular because the era was different. We come from a time where, when I was growing up, there were only so many things we were allowed to do, versus the era we're in now, where kids are allowed to be uptown, downtown, round town. We really weren't. We could do, sporting events, whether it was basketball, football, track, that kind of thing, and roller skating, and going to the movies. Those were like the 3 things we were allowed to do.
I feel like you also saw roller skating in like disco during the 70s too, so it was like really connected to the music in some ways.
Well, it was, but for us, I guess you could say, as we got older, we kind of gravitated to, what we liked, i.e. the JB skating. But growing up, yes, there was disco, there was artistic skating, which is part of what my mom did, whereas my dad was just a full-blooded JB skater. My uncles were like full-blooded JB skaters.
JB standing for?
James Brown, of course. But as a roller skater, roller skating is not a hobby, it's a lifestyle for most people that do it. And so if it's your lifestyle, you can skate to country and western. It's not going to matter. You can skate to gospel. You can skate, you'll find that beat that just
pocket.
does it for you, and you just do it. So for me, the 70s was really a good time because everybody was in it, and then it kind of died a little bit, and then it kind of came back, and then because that's that kind of roller coaster thing. There's a high and there's a low, and it just depends on the era and whether in your house it was a mandatory thing. In my house, it was a mandatory thing as a kid. It was a mandatory thing as an adult. So therefore, my children had to learn how to skate.
Why do you think James Brown is the artist who Chicago gravitated to and named its skating style out? What do you think it was about him and his music?
I think it's the beat. It's just the beat. It was just captivating. The music just kind of just grabbed you.
Yeah.
And it forced you into a skating universe.
And it's something about the improv nature of James Brown's music, the horns, his ad-libs, that it just sort of lends itself to this experimentation you
Absolutely.
see on the floor with people trying new moves, trying new combinations. When I was growing up, I vividly remember being at Markham roller skating rink, going to Glenwood, being at the rink now on 87th Street. But I don't necessarily remember like first learning how to skate. What do you remember about trying to pass down that sort of mandatory family tradition?
Funny you ask, because I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember going to Markham. You in particular, Jacoby, were 3 years old. And I took you and your brother and your sister to Markham. Now, again, with you guys being 18 months apart, everybody's kind of right there in that everybody's walking, everybody's talking, and now is the time to get started. Your sister, on one hand, oh, Mommy, I don't want to skate. Oh, God, I don't want, Mommy, please don't make me skate. Okay, well, we're going to sit you over here with some popcorn and some soda, and you're going to watch. Jacoby, you had no fear. You had about as much fear as you had rhythm, because those were the two things we were struggling with. But because you had no fear, you were going to continue, and you did. And I saw the progress every time we went. You did a little better and a little better because you were determined you were going to do this. It was not going to lick you. And here we are, and you are one of the best skaters I've seen.
Oh, that means a lot to me. In addition to learning how to skate, what I can vividly remember is after family dinner, after we watch some TV or something and we go to bed, we can hear the door open and close at about 9:30, 10:30 with you leaving to go to one of the various skating rinks to do one of the adult sessions. And it feels like the 90s was a really good time for roller skating. What do you remember about getting up, going to work, coming home, raising our three badasses, but then still going out and, like you said, enjoying that part of your lifestyle?
Well, and that's simply it. It was a lifestyle. It was as important as going to a job. And that's what roller skating had been for me my whole life. I mean, as a kid, obviously, you go to school. We weren't allowed to go at night, but boy, oh boy, on Saturday and Sunday, it was happening to the point on Sunday, my bag and my skates were in church with me. I went to Mass at 12 o'clock. Mass was over at 1 o'clock. Me and that bag hit it. Now, ask me what happened in church. Ask me what happened at the rink. I can tell you the first song to the last one.
If you're looking for a reason to get out of town for a weekend or a week, maybe check out South by Southwest. That's where some of the world's most curious and inspired and eclectic minds gather to shape what's next. It's the ultimate gathering for the global creative community where thought leaders, filmmakers, musicians, and other professionals share the same space and build together. Innovation, film and TV, music, and culture collide when the 2026 South by Southwest conferences and festivals land in Austin, Texas, March 12th through the 18th. For one electric week, the city becomes a playground for boundary-pushing ideas, world premieres, and live performances that turn into beneficial experiences. Gain real access to new ideas, people, and opportunities that don't just happen anywhere else. They happen at South by Southwest, driven by Rivian. It's an experience built on connection and the thrill of seeing the future first. Plus, you can unlock a 10% discount on your innovation badge when you use code CityCast10 at sxsw.com/Chicago. Discount on badge price only, not combinable. Terms apply. So start planning your adventure today.
You know, we've talked a little bit about skating being a lifestyle. We've talked about the music involved. I think for folks who are not that familiar with skating, who are maybe just thinking like, oh, you just go around the rink a few times, right? Visually, what does it look like when we're seeing real Chicago skaters out on the floor?
Well, the short answer is, what does it look like visually? I have no idea because I take my glasses off. I do not skate by sight. I just don't. I can't see what's in front of me, but because I do this, I don't need to. I skate from feeling. But for somebody that's just getting into skating, skating is the next best thing in exercise to swimming because you are going to use every part of your body. May not seem like it, but you will. When you skate for the first time and you get off the floor, your arms are going to hurt, your legs are going to hurt, your back is going to hurt, your brain is going to hurt. So what does it look like? Kind of depends on, your teachings, right?
If you're thinking about like your move set, right? Mm-hmm. Like, could you describe like a combination to people? Like, what are some of the moves? How is your body moving differently than just sort of one skate in front of the other skate?
Yep. Part of being able to do that is, one, you got to have some balance. Two, you got to have some endurance. Because whereas you think people going around the rink a couple times, oh, that's simple. As long as they can just move, it's not simple. Mm-hmm. Even if you're just putting one foot in front of the other, because it's a long way around. Mm-hmm. But the music is going to make it so infectious that you're going to want to keep doing it. Mm-hmm. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is make our way to the middle of the floor because we've got people who may know what they're doing or may not, but they're getting on and off around the outer skirts. So I want to make sure you're safe.
This is much harder than I remember it being as a child. We've made it to the center of the floor here.
And so learning moves, I start out simple things, with putting one foot in front of the other, with going around bending your knees.
That's so funny. I would have thought, I always feel like when I've like skated around, like when I go down, I always feel like I go faster, but it's actually the opposite when you put all your weight down.
It's gonna shift. So when you bend, everything is balancing because it's going down. And you're putting more weight on your ankles and your feet. Okay?
We'll just keep going forward. And we go down. Slow roll. I feel like a baby deer.
Right now, you can't even hear the music because you're too busy trying to make sure you're balanced, which is okay because you got to do everything kind of that way.
Kind of what's happening right now is I am going backwards and forwards in a straight line, just practicing moving one foot in front of the other, but also getting down low, making it easy. Not the most elegant positioning I've ever been in. Mama T is over here, gliding backwards, cross-stepping, doing some other very fancy. Oh, God, she just looks so beautiful, so pretty. Meanwhile, I am squatting almost, not to paint too graphic a picture, but almost like I'm using the toilet, but that's okay. This is how balance is achieved, friends.
Once you get comfortable with one thing, what I teach you is going to automatically take you into the next thing. Just like something as simple as if you want to turn around, you move your head into the direction you want to go, and it's going to make your body do it. Using your hands, you can put your hand in a certain direction, your body is going to automatically follow whatever direction your hand is going to go in. And it's those simple things that people, you would never think. You would think, oh my God, it takes so much effort. It doesn't. And you can go as slow or as fast as you want.
And some of the moves, they look similar to things people might know. So if like you're familiar with ballet, first position, second position, third position,
Correct.
like that looks like an eagle spread. Which is a move in skating. If you're familiar with working out, like lunges, that's like a big wheel. Or if you're, used to doing like high knees, a lot of routines involve people sort of picking up one leg and floating on the other. Some involve you getting up on your toes. Basketball, if you see people doing spins, or like a running back in football doing a spin, that's a move on skating. So a lot of the moves look similar to ways we use our bodies in
Right.
different sports, different activities.
Right.
You just happen to be on eight
skates.
wheels.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about rink etiquette and skating etiquette. For folks like me who are new to the floor, who are learning, what are some things that we should keep in mind if we want to come to a public skate?
In the Chicago world, there was always etiquette. We try to teach it as we go other places. Some people listen, some, not so much. But one of the things is always safety. When you're on the floor, for someone that's new, you should really find yourself to the middle of the skate floor. That is the safest place for you to be. And that is because people who are more versed and more seasoned tend to ride the wall in Chicago. Whether they're going fast, whether they're going slow, that is where they are. So you want to make sure that you're nowhere near them. The other thing is, and this is where a lot of the younger generation just fall completely off from etiquette. They will skate fast and cut through the middle of the floor to get to the other side. It's almost like traffic. And again, that's dangerous because if you've got people who are new to skating in the middle of the floor, you have to be cognizant of the fact that these are people who are not as seasoned as you may be, and just going past somebody with the velocity sometimes will scare the hell out of them.
How fast are we actually talking here?
Well, it kind of depends. And it depends on the music a lot of times because, man, if that's your song, you may pick up a whole lot of speed.
Max speeds, though, I feel like we talking like 19, 20 miles
20
per
miles
hour.
an hour, at least.
Yeah, we're moving fast
At
out
least.
there.
At least. So again, hence is why if you're not, as experienced, you want to stay in the middle because people who have proper etiquette will know the people who are in the middle are not as experienced and they will act accordingly.
And so you want to go in the middle and also be okay with falling, right?
Sure.
A lot of people, they get so scared. And if you're around a bunch of people, you might reach out for somebody and you don't want to reach out and grab someone else and pull someone else down because falling awkwardly on skates can hurt everybody. And so you want to just accept
Correct.
that you will fall, right?
Correct.
If you're going forward, you want to try to go down on your knees. If you're going out like on your butt, you want to protect your head, but crouch
right.
down and try and like
Correct.
soften the blow with your booty. You don't want to try to full sail, just put your arms out.
Nope,
You can hurt
'cause
your
you'll
elbow.
break your wrist.
Or break your wrist. And as somebody who has cracked his ankle, falling over people going really fast
Yeah.
and trying to catch myself, you kind of sometimes want to just give into the momentum
Right.
of falling, and you might be able to even get like a roll in to
Right.
protect yourself if you're going forward.
Does Chicago have a specific style of skating, and how would you describe how it's different from maybe other spots?
Well, does Chicago have a different style skate? They do. And now, again, that style has expanded because of the era. We have, again, JB skating. JB skating is different because it's slower, it's smoother when you put it up against like the East Coast. They do a lot of bouncing, they move a lot faster. And with Chicago, we're a little smoother. We're not as choppy. And we just kind of glide. Whereas now, the generation now, they move a little faster. In my opinion, they're not as smooth as us older skaters because they move a little faster and everything's in a hurry. Even with JB skating, they're speeding up the music versus letting the music play its natural form. You've got New York skates one way. The people in California skate a different way. The people in Detroit skate a different way. And I think it's just part of their culture of skating. Everybody's culture is different. The one thing that is universal is that it's exercise, it's enjoyment, and it is something that brings everybody together.
And when I think about skating, when I think back to like Rich City Skate, right? The family skating rink we all worked in, when we would have those international parties, it would become so clear just how different the roller skating world was from each other, from, like you said, your New York and New Jersey trains, right? Your Detroit open house, your St. Louis ballrooms, your Kentucky throws. And it's always been cool how each city has sort of gravitated to its own style. It's just been so beautiful to see. And obviously, both with bias, but also I think a little expertise, we'd argue Chicago is the greatest and most versatile roller skating style.
And everybody else agrees, which makes it so much simpler to move past.
Before we get out of here, I got some good news. The Chicago Justice Center is celebrating their 6th annual Justice Lens film series this week with a special director's cut screening of the documentary Still Searching about Chicago's missing Black and Latino women and girls. You can also check out a panel discussion with director LaToya Flowers-Rudd. Also check out the center's ongoing exhibition, We're Not All Here. To learn more, check the link in our show notes. As always, we appreciate you for listening, reading, for heading over to membership.citycast.fm and signing up to become a CityCast Chicago neighbor, where you're going to get access to ad-free listening, neighbors-only events, and you will know that you are directly financially supporting the future of this podcast and newsletter. Head over to membership.citycast.fm. We're going to be back here bright and early tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Peace.